just a reminder for those of you that may just be coming in, we have a hard stop at 5 o'clock because of another use for this room. So we'll be wrapping up at precisely that time. I want to take the time here to introduce our next speaker from AT&T, Jawad Tareen. He is part of the business development team at AT&T Smart Cities with a vertical focus on smart transportation. He is based in the Silicon Valley, where he has been involved with startups in the transportation space, working with companies to develop and manage diverse strategic and channel partner ecosystems. He also has domain-level expertise in smart parking, engaged actively with telecommunication services, systems integrators, connected car OEMs, and consultants to bring smart parking to cities across North America, making cities smarter. Previously, he has worked in business development, channel marketing, and strategy consulting in the Middle East and Pakistan. He has an MBA from McGill University, Montreal, Canada, and a BA in economics from Macalester College, St. Paul, Minnesota. I think you might have come to California to get warm. Is that what it is?
Absolutely.
Okay. But without further ado, take it over.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it. I actually didn't grow up thinking that I'd be in the parking space. When I moved here from the Middle East a couple of years ago, I wasn't rushing back to write to my family that I was in the parking business, but it turns out that parking is a very dynamic space and has this tentacles in multiple different areas within a smart city, and we'll talk about that. But thank you. Thanks a lot for the pleasure of having me here and talking to you about smart cities and how we at AT&T think about the space and what we're doing to kind of ramp up our efforts. I actually came on board recently to AT&T from a startup in the Silicon Valley. So from a practitioner of a point solution at the street level to then being able to engage on a broader platform, that was very fortunate for me, and I was all over when I heard that AT&T was developing a dedicated team around smart cities in an effort to really ramp up its effort across the value chain and engaging with cities at the right level, at the mayoral level, at the DOT level, and offering a connected suite of connected city applications that it could help bring to the table, leveraging our robust connectivity as a background and our partnership ecosystem. And we'll just talk about that. Smart city. What is a smart city? Very, very simply defined, is a city that uses technology to connect people, processes, and assets. In order to drive economic development, to increase operational efficiencies, and really the underlying goal is to enable a better living experience for its citizens. And that is why it's absolutely very relevant and important for us as AT&T to be a very close partner to the city in enabling those efficiency systems. Because the AT&T backbone connectivity is really the thread that is weaved through every single smart city application and use case. And therefore, it becomes absolutely very relevant to us. And therefore, we decided to formulate a dedicated team to engage with cities in helping cities understand what the key areas of interest were for cities, the key pain points that it wanted to address, and really AT&T to help bring those solutions to bear for a city to deploy and implement. The good news is that the growth momentum is strong. What Cisco pointed out, 50 billion devices, connected devices by 2025 is absolutely correct. And we are seeing that growth sort of increase exponentially. By 2023, it's expected to, smart city spending is expected to grow to 27.5 billion globally and about 4.4 billion domestically. And again, this trend is only going to rise as more and more cities are interested and willing to identify the right use cases to implement in their cities to make it smarter, to generate a very vibrant, connected, engaged citizen community to better the lives of its citizens and its stakeholders. The five key building blocks, really the key messages are, in terms of drivers for smart cities, if you look at it, is increased urbanization. More and more people are moving to urban center cores, and it just breaks at a certain point. The existing infrastructure in cities just cannot handle the pressure that it's being put on in terms of more people moving to the cities. So it has to be made smarter. We have to do more with existing infrastructure and make it more smarter, more efficient for use. Public safety is a key concern for cities with the Vision 2025, as I'm sure you're familiar with. Deaths by road collisions to zero by 2025 is a key sort of national program that every city is getting behind. To emergency response vehicles, applications for clearing the path in dynamic traffic signal monitoring. Public safety is absolutely a key concern for many cities. Aging infrastructure, so current infrastructure just cannot handle the population loads. 3.6 trillion is estimated to be spent on aging infrastructure. And again, we have to be doing more with the existing infrastructure and help sort of reduce operational costs in building additional capacity in terms of infrastructure. Economic development, again, a hot topic for many of our city stakeholders from the mayoral level to the DOT level. How can technology help drive economic development? How can we enable a smart, connected technology environment in smart cities to incentivize companies in the private sector to move into those cities, and that will perpetuate job growth and economic development? What are the key applications that help towards driving the GDP for a city? Sustainability, and again, one of the key drivers of smart city applications is how are we thinking in addressing those specific areas within a smart city, but are conscious of our environment and preserving it? How can technology, for example, help reduce CO2 emissions in terms of the smart transportation space, in terms of being sustainable? So those are some of the things that are the key drivers when you look at smart cities and their applications towards adopting those key technologies. The few areas that we've looked at and engaging with our cities, city stakeholders is cost savings, increased urbanization, and politics. Cost savings. Cities absolutely want cost savings. Smart grid initiatives, for example, will achieve 10.7 billion savings by 2019. LED lighting we consider LED lighting as that Trojan horse application that, as more and more cities are allocating funds towards transitioning from their existing sort of traditional high-pressure sodium lighting to LED lighting for more efficiency, that brings with it a sensory network that additional value-add sensing capabilities can sit on top of. So again, cities are not looking to implement independent, separate sort of sensing networks. They want a holistic framework of smart technologies to implement. And LED lighting is definitely considered as one of those key application areas that more and more cities are looking to adopt. And that's a key opportunity for smart city applications to build on top of. Increased urbanization, again, talked about this. City populations increase at a rate of 7,500 people an hour. This was reported by Ericsson, and this trend is absolutely going to continue. More and more cities are moving to urban cores, and therefore, putting a lot of pressure to existing infrastructure. And they want to be connected, they want to be engaged, and want a better life experience within that city environment. 54% of total global population will now reside in urban center cores. So it's a key area of concern and growth when you look at smart city applications. Politics, this is something that has come up over and over again. More and more departments within a city are siloed, are somewhat disparate. They're not always talking to each other across a common platform. We're partnered with the Dallas Innovation Alliance, and it told us that Dallas has 71 different departments in its city. I was speaking to Seattle the other day, and it considered itself as a lean city, city environment where it had 38 different departments, all the way from public works to DOT to the city council to its sustainability and forums. Very, very siloed and disparate, and not always talking across the same common platform. So it's absolutely a challenge to engage with these different sort of stakeholders, and you want everybody to come, step up and be engaged in that conversation. And AT&T is now helping sort of engage with cities across the board in helping sort of drive that discussion and that conversation going forward. So what's AT&T doing? Again, we'd like to think that AT&T has earned a right to be a sort of a leader in the space. We've been at this for a while now with our robust connectivity across the country, nationally present, with 26 million IoT devices connected to the network today. More than 6.5 million connected meters. These are smart grid connected, electricity, power, water meters that we've actually been, we've been engaged with this space for a while now. More than 100.4 petabytes of data traffic on our network on a single business day. So really a lot of this bandwidth we're carrying across our connectivity, which is a robust connectivity that's weaved through, smart city applications. And again, all of this is done in a very, very secure, highly, robust sort of applications and network platform. And that's absolutely, the key in terms of what Cisco was talking about security as being fundamentally important in those discussions when you look at sort of secure, connected applications at the city level. In terms of our framework, the Smart City team has developed a holistic technology framework, and really these are 4 areas in which we engage, and that's again sort of highly secure connectivity, as the backbone thread that is weaved through city applications everywhere across the city and nationally as well. Technology, sort of robust embedded technology components. We're doing a lot in terms of solution architecture and engineering, in terms of our security applications, in terms of our big data applications, to embed those technology components within the full technology stack. Partners, that's a very important part of the smart city engagement. And the partnership ecosystem is kind of twofold. One, what we call our alliance partners. And these are companies like Cisco, like Ericsson, like GE, Deloitte, IBM, recently announced Hitachi. These are companies that have really come up and have agreed to partner with us in leveraging their core capabilities and again bringing to cities a robust, holistic technology framework of things in terms of no one company is going to be able to do this alone, and we've recognized that. So there's core technology capabilities that we leverage, and then we're also ramping up our efforts in partnering with the point solutions. The companies that actually provide that compelling end use case, whether that is smart parking, smart waste disposal, smart LED lighting from GE, to actually bringing, talking to our cities, engaging with them, understanding their key pain points, and then offering up the right partnerships in terms of that compelling use case that gets delivered. And AT&T is a prime partner that will help bring that connected suite of applications and solutions for the cities to implement. Sorry, I just wanted to also talk about, moving forward. In terms of the vertical solutions, these are the 5 key areas of vertical solutions segments within our smart cities that we've sort of identified and focused for ourselves. And if we feel that cities, if they don't modernize themselves and get connected in these 5 key pillars within a smart city ecosystem, that they really are going to lose out the edge. And these are, energy and utilities. Again, like I've said, that's been a legacy business for us, and now it's come under the purview of the smart cities engagement team. From smart grid solutions to smart lighting and water management. Transportation, an increasingly very important key portion and segment within our smart city framework of things. Smart transit, smart parking, route optimization, urban planning. Citizen engagement, public safety, and infrastructure. Infrastructure, again, roads, bridges, highways, and again, public safety, as I mentioned, is a key focus area as well. And then citizen engagement is, again, looking at sort of public Wi-Fi spots and venue event experiences to kind of leverage our sort of PR NOC capabilities as well, and engaging with sort of citizens to make, to provide for a more connected, living experience within cities. Smart city initiatives, just wanted to highlight a couple of smart city initiatives. We've launched a program called the Spotlight City Initiative. And this is our effort to engage with cities, to partner with cities, to bring them on board a program in which we will put test beds of connected solutions. And again, leveraging on our partner ecosystem to understand from cities, the key pain points that it has, the kind of areas that it wants to address and highlight, and then leverage our partner ecosystem to actually deliver those use cases at the city level in a sort of a contained environment, but with the view that they will scale commercially. And the cities, for the first time, can actually understand the data that gets generated from the cities and how it's helping cities be more informed and engaging its citizens, more in terms of the use cases that it brings to the table. The DOT Challenge, recently the US DOT launched a Smart Cities Challenge in which it will award $50 million to one mid-sized city, a population size of between 200 and 800,000 people, that can showcase a really innovative smart transportation vision for itself. And then so AT&T stepped up and is engaging with cities that we have long-standing relationships with in terms of our municipal sales teams to really step up and provide that benefit and value add to the cities to put in a robust bid for its proposals for this funding grant. So I wanted to, this is a traveling showcase for our smart cities, just kind of to, highlight visually in terms of what a connected, city looks like, all the way from sort of smart connected traffic lights to Big Belly's smart waste disposal system, how that connects to, monetize, infrastructure development solution, and to a smart, parking sensor on the ground to detect parking availability, which I'll get into a little bit more. So an integrated, unified, interoperable sort of platform of connected solutions that AT&T will help bring into cities for it to implement under our Spotlight City program. And this is kind of a high-level visualization in terms of what that might look like for different cities. So I wanted to quickly point out, talk about smart parking as a use case, and it's something that resonates really well with cities as a use case. It's a cryogenically frozen industry in time. I mean, it's just not been optimized, not inventoried. Not much change has happened in the last 80 years. As you can see, I mean, they might, the cars have changed, the models might have changed. The parking meter might have now changed to a connected, credit card enabled meter, but really not much innovation. So it's absolutely ripe for disruption. And we're partnering with a company that is providing a smart parking application to really improve how cities, for the first time, for the cities to actually realize how this huge real estate tract of land in cities is actually being utilized, in terms of demand-based utilization. What is the problem? When you think about 30% of congestion in cities is caused by people circling for traffic. They've actually now arrived in the city, and their last destination is not actually the destination, their restaurant, their flower shop, or whatever that might be. It's actually the space where they park, and now they're just circling round and round looking for that elusive parking space. And that causes immense problems in terms of traffic congestion. It's about 6 to 14 minutes average time spent in US cities looking for parking, and that number actually doubles for cities like Los Angeles. A huge waste of time and effort in terms of congested cities. It was actually surveyed that 60% of people that were surveyed had abandoned a trip to the city because of no parking. And it wasn't because there wasn't enough parking, it just wasn't, utilized and consumed efficiently. You just don't go up to a hotel and say, usually it doesn't happen that you come up and you want a room. It's already inventoried, it's already smart, it's already optimized, and it's actually, the data is provided to you in real time. The same thing should happen for parking. Before you actually embark on your journey, you should know exactly where the parking spots are and what your likelihood of finding parking are in a much more smarter and efficient manner. 67% to about 93% increase in costs for shopping malls and infrastructure development to increase capacity, just because the number one complaint from city merchants is that people can't get to me because there's not enough parking. And again, the question is, the issue is not around parking, it's just that people can't find parking easily, within a city, and it's not optimized. And again, 40% of potential parking revenue lost due to inefficiencies within a city, if you think about smarter enforcement. And a 10%, and only 10% reduction in congestion can increase GDP growth of a city by 2%. And that translates to about 132,000 jobs in the city of Los Angeles alone, where this company is actually deployed and has a pretty robust sort of footprint. So huge implications when it comes to just smart parking, as a city has its tentacles in multiple different areas within an engaged and connected city. So what happens, how does it work? This company provides a sensing technologies, again, a sensor size of a hockey puck that goes flush into the pavement of an on-street individual parking spot, detects the presence of a car over it, and relays that information over a wireless mesh network through a motorist app called Parker, and guides motorists in real time to where parking spots might be open. That's only the front end, consumer-facing side of things. There are a whole host of applications in the back end that cater to city, multiple stakeholders within a city. And that information can dynamically be triggered to variable message signs, to web-based analytics, and again, a whole analytics engine in understanding how parking is utilized on an hour-by-hour, day-by-day, month-by-month basis in a smart city. Why is there a congestion problem due to parking in some parts of the city versus others? Why is, so that cities can be more informed and dynamically and right-size their policy. Los Angeles, for example, in this case, went from a $2 an hour parking policy across the board in front of an auto wrecking yard or in front of Spago, the most fanciest restaurant in Hollywood, $2 an hour. Just didn't make sense. Why would you give up parking after 6 in Hollywood when people don't even wake up till then? It just doesn't make sense. So they were able to take real demand-based data and right-size their policy, and now are as low as 50 cents in some areas and as high as $8 some areas. And that's, again, based on actual actionable data generated from the sensor devices to providing that kind of analytics and intelligence. So again, the motorist guidance app again provides a sort of a high-level map-based view, sort of a bird's-eye view. And again, the point is not to provide a specific parking spot availability, because the user experience is thought to be, is negative when you actually get up there and somebody else just has parked into that spot. So it provides you with a higher-level view to where you are the most likelihood of finding parking. You come to an intersection, you have 3 choices. Go straight, left, or right. And if you knew that there's more than 4 spots available, if you turn right, don't even turn left. There are less than 2 spots available, highly congested areas. You're actually able to make a smarter decision. And you'll reduce that congestion of circling around in the cities looking for parking. And again, that is also can be in a web-based widget as well for merchants actually to consume that data as well. You've looked at a restaurant, you've looked at specials, you want to go there, and look, there's parking around that restaurant in proximity to where that restaurant is. And that's a much more engaged, a much more smarter way of starting off your commute. So again, when you look at smart parking as a specific use case, a really connected sort of whole ecosystem, dynamic. So space occupancy sensors that detect parking availability. Motorists are guided to those spaces through an app in real time. That information is dynamically triggered to variable message signs. Motorist parks. It then pays for parking through a mobile-based payment system. Really, there doesn't have to be a sort of a cash register, standing next to each and every individual parking spot. And then that information is dynamically triggered to enforcement. So, the system will empower the motorist to finding parking, but then when you don't pay the first time, it will actually then empower the enforcement officers to find you in real time. And cities don't really want to be sort of ticket sort of mongers. I think what they want to look at is causing, positive, consumer behavior. When you know that there's a smart system in place, you're more likely to actually not take the chance and park the first time. And that's a win-win for cities. It again incrementally generates additional revenue for the city. To then providing analytics in terms of over a specific period of time as to what's happening in a city through just this in one particular use case. And then when that is connected to multiple other use cases within a city, that's where the magic lies from a city in terms of adoption. So again, it's to cause consumer behavior. When you look at search being, you're reducing search, you're reducing turnover. Just the optimal level of turnover, by the way, too many parking spots open in a city means that there's not enough sort of engagement within a city. Too few parking spots open means that is a disadvantage for motorists to actually go to a city and engage in commerce and increase the GDP of a city. So this optimal level of parking availability and turnover is what's really required, and that's what you get from analytics, big data, and the intelligence that you gain from sensing capabilities. At the end of the day, it has to be about the data. I mean, the cities have to embrace an open data policy in terms of having the data being accessible and consuming that data. So sorry about that. This is the dashboard that AT&T is working on now, so that it provides sort of a 360-degree view to multiple stakeholders within the city. So mayor comes in and has a view to what's happening in the city through the connected devices that are being implemented in the city, and generating that data at the edge, at the device level, at the gateway level, at the analytics level, and really getting making some informed decisions in terms of the data and the intelligence that gets generated. And again, AT&T's interest is to provide that platform layer, provide that connectivity layer, provide that platform layer as well, with sort of robust embedded technology components, and leveraging our partner ecosystem in providing a connected suite of smart city solutions, and really helping cities understand what's happening in a city from the data that it generates, and also helping its citizens improve their lives and engaging in a smarter city environment. Really, that's all I had, sort of a high-level overview in terms of what AT&T is doing, and thank you. I'll pause now and take any comments or questions as you may have. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, since many Cenic members are academic and educational organizations, what are the research challenges of smart cities? Smart cities is a large trend. What research challenges that could be taken up within academia do you see in the deployment and future evolution of smart cities?
So I think that's a great question. We actually have been working with a number of higher education institutions as well. Georgia Tech is one that comes immediately to mind in terms of our recent engagement. And again, working with universities, and again, so there's two real answers to this. One is that we've actually looked at university campuses sort of as mini cities. They typically have the same challenges and problems like a city would have. I mean, they're very passionate about providing a good user experience for its alumni, for its visitors, for its students. And again, looking at smart parking, for example, as a use case, smart LED lighting as well. A number of those applications are very relevant from a university campus point of view as well. So smart universities are definitely a target audience when we think about in terms of engaging across smart cities. But again, also to leverage sort of the universities as a platform of test beds or pilots for connected solutions. I mean, I think that's an important area of engagement for us as well. And we just started to develop that kind of dialogue and those kind of conversations. But really looking at universities as well to help guide the way in terms of what it can implement in terms of a test bed, a connected technology test bed that can then be commercially deployed, within the larger sort of smart city ecosystem. But so education is definitely a target segment for us in terms of connected technologies to implement, but then working with the academia as well and looking at research and development is also something that's important to our leadership as well going forward. Anything else? I think I've exhausted the time that I was allowed. But
Give everybody a couple minutes to get out on time.
thanks very much. Appreciate your time.